Business This Morning. Today at 6 a.m. right here on Channel 3.
The debating and campaigning are over for this year, and Americans have elected the nation's 41st president. We'll tell you how that may affect agriculture next. The markets are awaiting today's USDA crop production report. Market analyst Chalmer Miller tells us what the trade is looking for. And Glenn Gajalnik has our weather forecast for the nation. Those stories and all the day's news are coming to you next on Ag Day.
Ag Day, brought to you by the heartbeat of America, today's Chevy truck.
Good morning and welcome to this Wednesday edition of Ag Day. I'm Joanne Serpy. What seemed to many like one of the longest campaigns on record is over, and Americans have elected George Bush to be the 41st president of the United States. How will that affect ag policy? Well, one of the most important things the president-elect will have on his agenda is reducing the budget deficit. And because of that, the cost of farm programs will have to be cut. That's according to Robert Thompson, who's the dean of the Purdue University School of Agriculture and a former assistant secretary for economics at the USDA.
I think the Bush administration will work hard to make sure that loan rates stay down far enough so that they don't impede export competitiveness. I also think, though, that having said that, then to reduce the cost of deficiency payments, which are the biggest ticket item in the farm programs, the most expensive item, that they're going to have to then reduce the target price or the fraction of the crop on which deficiency payments are made at a faster rate than would otherwise be the case.
Thompson expects Bush to be aggressive in global trade negotiations to reduce subsidies across the board. Well, as we reported yesterday, some names being mentioned to succeed Ag Secretary Ling in a Bush administration include USDA Deputy Secretary Peter Myers, U.S. Trade Representative Clayton Yiter, and former Iowa Congressman Cooper Evans. Other names that have been mentioned are former American Farm Bureau Federation President Robert Delano, current Farm Bureau President Dean Kleckner, former American Soybean Association President Seymour Johnson, and Robert Thompson. In other news this morning, the USDA's November crop production report is due out today. Only minor increases in the October estimates are expected. One survey shows market analysts peg the crop at an average 4.556 billion bushels, just 3 million above last month's forecast. Traders are more closely focusing on the report's supply and demand updates. Our market analyst Chalmer Miller has more coming up in his report today. Meanwhile, in America this year, it was a devastating drought. In Japan, it's cool and wet weather that's caused severe damage to crops. Japanese farm officials forecast damage to rice and vegetable crops at nearly $3 billion. That's expected to boost food prices and reduce government aid to farmers. 61% of the damage affected rice crops, and some farmers were unable to grow enough even for their own needs. But Japan's rice stockpiles make it unnecessary to import rice. U.S. and European Commission officials will meet next week to set the stage for major trade talks in Montreal next month. Ag Secretary Ling and Trade Representative Clayton Yiter will represent the Americans. The two sides will discuss trade and agricultural issues before the next GATT meeting in Montreal. One specific issue that may be brought up is the controversial EC ban on import of meat from animals treated with hormones. Officials say that ban could cost the U.S. a $142 million market. Well, the trade is awaiting today's crop production report, primarily for its supply and demand figures, as we told you. Market analyst Chalmer Miller has more on that when we come back.
Listen to the heartbeat of America.
Chevrolet announces more Americans going back to work. The new second shift at our Michigan truck plant. They're dedicated to building America's best-built truck, the full-size Chevy truck, an American success story.
Oh, the heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevy truck.
If
you're looking for business news, you can get it from a Business Monthly, a Business Weekly, or America's leading business daily, the Wall Street Journal.
Call 800-445-4100 for this great journal subscription offer. 13 weeks for just $29.75 with a money-back guarantee. 13 weeks, $29.75. Phone 800-445-4100 now for the Wall Street Journal.
It's showtime at the AgriCenter International, the 1988 Farm, Home, and Energy Show this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Over 100 exhibitors, retailers, distributors, manufacturers, and service organizations. Many exhibitors will be featuring daily registrations to win 3 valuable prizes. Join the friendly crowds. Explore a new world of products and services. Make it a day or night out with free parking at the 1988 Farm, Home, and Energy Show this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the AgriCenter.
Memphis, our city. Keeping it clean and beautiful has been important to us over the years. Remember the clean-up, paint-up, fix-up parades and activities of the past? Memphis and its City Beautiful Commission played a major role in that. We had pride then, and we have pride now. Join the City Beautiful Commission in keeping our city one of the cleanest in the nation. Clean up, paint up, fix up. Back again in Memphis to keep the pride alive.
Welcome back to Ag Day. Market analyst Chalmer Miller has joined us. And Chalmer, the election's over, so maybe now things can get back to normal. But today we've got the USDA crop report coming out this afternoon.
That's right, we do. I think things have been kind of at least on hold till we got the election process out of the way. In many of our markets, I don't expect the ag markets that much or not. At any rate, this afternoon we will have the USDA crop production report out. I've got some trade estimates. They're virtually the same as the last USDA report. In the corn, the trade estimate is for a 4.56 billion bushels is what they're looking for. That's only, well, the last USDA report was 4.55, so it's virtually unchanged. Soybeans essentially the same thing. The average trade estimate's 1.51 billion, while the last USDA estimate was a little bit over 1.5 billion. So essentially it's the same thing. We're not looking for much change. I think the supply side of our market's pretty well in line and in place. Shouldn't be any surprises there. Of course, when there shouldn't be surprises, a little bit of a surprise can really be a big one. I don't really think there will be there. The thing you'll probably be looking at more than the production report will be the supply and demand report that also comes out. And this tells us what kind of demand we're looking for over the next year, next 10 months. And I think this will be looked at with a great deal of excitement or anticipation.
Now, I know one thing that a lot of people have been asking, and that is whether soybean prices will return back up there price-wise.
I don't know. We've still got 5 more shots, I think. You know, we're at a low. We don't have a lot of beans. We aren't going to have a lot of beans. South America needs to get a good crop. We always say we kill a crop 3 times. We've killed South America's once, so we've got 2 more shots there. And with the crop we'll plant, we'll have 3 shots to kill it and get a decent crop scare. Outside markets, the precious metals were weak as the platinum broke sharply. Gold and silver followed. With the election behind us, we may have a rally or be on the verge of a rally in the precious metals. Closing agricultural prices had the December corn closing at 278 3/4. That was unchanged. March closed at 285 1/4. That was up 1 1/4 cents. The December corn was down 4 cents earlier in the day, so returning to unchanged did look reasonably strong. In the beans, November closed at 796 1/4. That was up 7 3/4. January closed at 809 1/4. That was up 8 cents on the day. Beans made their low in the first 20 minutes, and they worked upward most of the day, making their high near the close of the day. And the product, the soybean meal, December closed at 265.20. That was down 10. December oil closed at 22.93. That was up 30 points in the day. The products reversed their roles as the bean oil was the upside